Did you know that 28% of home buyers in the Los Angeles area are waiving their inspections and appraisal contingencies just to win a bidding war? 1 in 3 are taking a massive risk just to be able to compete. Meanwhile, the average sales price in Los Angeles is $1,060,000. That's a 9% increase from last year. If you are buying or selling in the Los Angeles area, you need to understand why this trend is going to affect you. And I'm going to give you 4 different tactics that you can use in a multiple offer situation. So right now, Los Angeles is in a neutral market. That means we're not in a super seller's market. We're not in a super buyer's market. We're just somewhere in the middle. However, there are certain areas like West Adams, Pasadena, certain parts of Silverlake, Culver City that are seeing multiple offers really consistently. And if you look at February of last year, where the median sales price was $972, it just shows you how dynamic the Los Angeles real estate market is and how quickly things can change. Not only are buyers fighting ridiculously high prices, now they're starting to negotiate some risky terms, and that's what I want to get into. Contingencies. These are clauses in your contract that allow you to get out of the contract if the property does not appraise, or if the inspection reveals that you need a new roof and a new sewer system and a new electrical system and the house is a total dump. This lets you get out of that contract with those contingencies. Yet, as I said before, 1 in 3 buyers are waiving their contingencies, and here are a couple reasons why. Number 1 is intense competition. With homes selling on an average of 24 days in certain areas, sellers prioritize offers with fewer contingencies to close faster and with less risk. Number 2 is FOMO, the fear of missing out. And I see this happen all the time, that buyers are afraid of losing their dream home by asking for inspections or appraisals. This is especially true in high demand areas like Culver City, where waived contingency offers often exceed asking prices by 5% or more. And number 3, seller expectations. Sellers now expect clean offers with minimal conditions, especially in move-in ready properties that are in very desirable neighborhoods. And I see this happen all the time. When there is a home that is perfectly staged, that is perfectly remodeled in a really popular area, you're going to get multiple offers on it. So this trend of waiving contingency and appraisals is having effect on the market. The first one is in higher prices and faster sales. Homes with waived contingencies can sell faster and often above asking price, pushing the overall market values higher. For instance, the average Los Angeles home rose 9% to $1,060,000 as of February of this year. I'm also seeing this trend divide buyers. For example, first-time home buyers or buyers using FHA or VA financing are not able to compete with cash-rich investors or conventional buyers that have substantially more down payment, where they can make adjustments on the down payment. It's just hard to compete when you're putting so little down and you can't waive any of those appraisal or contingencies. It just makes it a more divided market. If you were thinking about waiving your contingencies, make sure you know that it is a huge financial risk. For example, take a look at this property that I sold in East Los Angeles to a really lovely couple. It looked really charming. They had new kitchens, new bathrooms, the flooring was updated. It was move-in ready. But when we did our inspections, we found the foundation was basically sitting on dirt, and we needed an entirely new foundation to the tune of $83,000. If we hadn't gotten an inspection, if we had waived our inspection period, we would never have known that it needed an $83,000 new foundation. This could have been a huge financial disaster for my buyers, but thank God I recommended getting the full range of inspections, and that's what inspection contingencies do for you. We were able to negotiate the seller pay $72,000 for a brand new foundation. This is why having those inspection contingencies is so crucial. So now I'm going to give you 4 different strategies that you can use in a multiple offer situation where you're not gambling away your entire fortune and savings, but smartly negotiating as best as you can. The first one is getting a fully underwritten approval letter. Now, typically when you go to a lender, they're going to give you a pre-qualification letter or a pre-approval letter, but this is the next step above that, where you get an underwriter to actually review all of your tax returns, your bank statements, your credit history, your work employment, all your assets, and they have approved everything subject to the contract and the appraisal. This shows a seller that you are very serious and that you are very qualified and that you can close quickly. Number 2 is offering non-financial perks. I've seen this happen many, many times in my 22 years of working in real estate. I had a seller one time who did not want to move all of their furniture. They just wanted it to be done. They didn't want to sell it. They didn't want the hassle of putting it on Craigslist or getting somebody to come haul it away. They just wanted to leave it all there and move. Well, in a multiple offer situation, we told the buyers, if you're willing to take all this furniture or dispose all this furniture, we're willing to accept your offer. And this buyer was thrilled because they got an accepted offer and they just had to deal with the furniture afterwards. These non-financial terms can be really attractive to a seller. This is why when you're working with me as a buyer's agent, I always ask the listing agent 100 questions. They sometimes get sick of me, but I want to know as much as I can to better position you as the buyer. Do they need a long escrow? Where are they moving to? Do they want to leave any furniture? Do they not want to do any repairs and just do a credit instead? All of these things are terms that we can negotiate. Not all of them are financial. So make sure that you keep that in mind whenever you're putting an offer in a multiple offer situation. Number 3, targeting off-market listings. Now, these don't happen all the time, but I do have clients that say, hey, if you brought me an offer, I would consider selling the property. That is a really great opportunity for a buyer if you're competing in a very popular neighborhood. So just keep that in mind that off-market properties can be very valuable. I work with a lot of investors who wholesale properties that need to be fixed up. So if you're looking for a fixer-upper and you can close quickly and you don't want to compete with other buyers, I do have a list of properties that are off-market that need a project, and you can compete with those without having to bother with multiple offers. So these are really good strategies with off-market properties. And number 4, be strategic in your contingencies. Now, you might be able to waive your appraisal contingency if you're really sure that the property is going to appraise with no issues, but maybe keep your inspection contingency, or vice versa. Maybe keep your appraisal contingency and waive your inspection contingency. I don't like to waive inspection contingencies ever because you never know what is lurking behind the walls of a property, and it's just a big risk. Appraisal contingencies, I'm a little less concerned about if the property is well priced and you've done all the research to make sure that the property will appraise. But I've seen situations where I've been very surprised in both accounts. So you need to be really strategic with how you waive contingencies if you're going to waive them at all. The other thing you can do is try to shorten the length of those contingencies. Sometimes that is just as attractive as waiving them to some sellers. So let's recap. You can waive your contingencies in any contract that you want. However, there are some major risks that you need to be aware of, and you need to have a strategy moving forward. If you are thinking about buying or selling here in the Los Angeles area, I have new buyers and sellers guides. I'll put that in the link in the description down below, or you can contact me directly at 213-268-6832. My name is Felipe Crook, investing in your dreams.